Hey everybody. So, you know what today is here on Xavia Fox Talks. Today is that day you've been waiting for. We are doing the Sisters Circle. Ladies, and of course I'm Xavia Fox, the host of Xavia Fox Talks. Surprise!
Okay, now ladies, I don't know, you might not like my question. The next question is, do you feel that women respect the man's role as being the head of household? Now, I chose that question because just, a lot of women don't respect the man as the head of household. A lot of women don't. Do I? Yes, but he would have to be a God-fearing, God-following, and God-loving man. If he wants me to respect him as the leader of my household, then he has to respect God as the leader. Because how can you guide and lead me when you're not following the leader yourself? You know what I'm saying? So, but do I respect it? Do I respect the man's role? Yes, I do. And then another thing is, if I'm going to give you my life, then you need to drive it better than I do. Because I do a very good job running my own life. And if I'm going to put my life in your hands, and I'm going to trust you day in and day out, there's room for error, but you don't get to make some drastic, catastrophic error that changes our lives forever. You need to be an excellent leader. You need to show me, you need to guide me and make me a better person. And that's what I see the man's role as a leader. And yes, I will respect it as long as he's God-fearing, God-following, and God-loving.
So let me throw something back at you.
Go ahead.
A little devil's advocate. So, sorry, but it just made me think. So let's say he's God-fearing, God-loving, and all that you said, but he's not a good leader.
He's not a good leader. Well, he's God-fearing and he's God-loving. He'll get there. Because he believes in God, he follows God. It's going to take some time for you to get there.
That is a good answer.
That is. That's the only answer. That is. So that's, so yes, I do respect the man's role as the head of the household.
Now, for me, I respect the role, but I can honestly say I haven't allowed a man, any guy that I've been with, allowed him to be a man, truly be a man, only because I feel like I probably nitpick a lot and probably say, no, I don't think you're doing this right, or maybe you should try it this way, or maybe you should do this, so I understand that sometimes you should allow a man to be a man, and just have him run the household and do what he's supposed to do, but sometimes I guess I feel like me at the current place that I'm in now feel sometimes that I can do it better. So I'm gonna tell you my opinion and what I think you should do or shouldn't do. So I mean, I understand the whole concept, but I just haven't experienced that yet. or allowed it to happen.
Opinion. That's not saying that you walk around
Right.
But you can always have an opinion.
I wasn't necessarily always this way.
Right.
This is just a recent transition within the last couple of years when, I had to reconnect with God, really. So, because you couldn't tell me anything.
Well, I guess for me, the image that I get when you bring that question up is the man, going out, bringing home the money, the bread and everything, and you cooking, cleaning, taking care of kids. And that's not really something that the role that I see myself playing. Because that's
weren't even born then.
But a lot of men have that issue.
We're in a whole plan. There's no more the quiet mouse in the house anymore. No, we have voices.
The men are getting their hair done, their nails done, their toes done, and we're making the money. It's metrosexual, not gay.
Right.
They're going out
I know plenty
shopping,
of metrosexual.
and we're making the big bucks, and we're running the household. It's reverse roles.
But for me, it has been an issue because I tend to date guys a lot older than me. So I think they still kind of have that mindset where, I'm going to make the money. You need to come over here and clean the house up. And I'm like, oh no, because I'm going out and getting my money too. I'm not cleaning no house. I ain't cooking, And so for me, it has been a little bit of an issue. But I do have to say, and this is actually going back to the last question, maybe I need to, I don't know if it's because the whole daddy thing of even dating guys that are, so many years older than me. A lot of my boyfriends have been 10 plus years older than me. So I don't know, but that has been an issue in my past relationships, allowing them to dictate me as being the woman to come and cook and clean and take care
See,
of
I
the
don't
house.
mind all of that. That's domesticated. I don't mind that stuff.
See, I have to be honest, I don't do that. I mean, I'll clean my own stuff, but you're a grown man. If you mess it up, clean it up. I'm not about to come clean up after you.
But what if he cleans up after you?
Oh, he don't. So I clean. I
That's a
clean
shared
my own
responsibility,
stuff,
you know?
And then I've my last 2 relationships, the guy was the cook, so I never had to cook. So being in a relationship now where you're like, you gonna cook something tonight? I'm like, are you gonna cook something? Cause I'm used to a guy cooking for me. So it's kind of different, but hey, it is what it is.
And it's different point of views whether you're married and whether you're dating. And I think oftentimes when you're dating, the perception is let's pretend like we're married. So let's come over here and cook and clean as if we're married. But we're dating.
Right.
So it's a different, I think it's a different mindset when you are married.
Yeah, that'll probably change once I get to that level.
Right. That's true.
That's a very good point. So I'm never washing dishes. I'm never married.
Wow.
Don't even ask.
Well, let me chime in here. I am going to piggyback off what Kelly said. I do respect the man's role. However, I haven't always, and it took me being married and divorced twice to understand why I need to now and how I didn't before. I was very guilty of always being told you need to let a man be a man. And having been my mother's firstborn, I guess if ever responsibility was going to be put somewhere, it started with me. So I'm not waiting, if I tell you, or if you see the trash needs to be taken out, and it's Monday and it's Tuesday, and now we're on Wednesday and the trash needs to be taken out, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm taking it as soon as it starts smelling. Bad example because the garbage is not going to sit that long, but point is, I used to be the kind of person that would just do whatever needs to be done. If it's pay the bills, if it's take the kids to the doctor, if it's clean, if it's do the laundry, if whatever needs to be done. If mother-in-law calls and says, hey, family trip, let's get ready, I start planning and we start going. So I was always the make it happen person. And I didn't know anything but that. Then after my first divorce, I dated a guy, and the very last thing he said to me, we dated for 4 years, the very last thing he said to me was, you need to let a man be a man. My first husband said that. I married a second time. My second husband wasn't having it. So when I started doing whatever, he was like, hold up, I got this gym shoe, I'm a man, you are the woman. This is what I do, this is what you do. And I was like,
Because there are roles.
yeah. But the roles are defined by what works best for the couple.
The house.
So
Absolutely.
if you're dating, it is a set of rules that apply when you're dating. And if you're married, it's a whole different set of rules. But it's whatever works. So you have to, I think, have that conversation, ask those hard questions, get that established in whatever situation you're in. Because until you get it established, you can, one person's going to be doing this, one person's going to be doing that. It may come together, it may not. But for me, what I learned is I have to ask those questions. And if you come anywhere around my space, you about know what I'm going to do and you know what I'm not going to do. If you ask me to do something that's out of what you see me doing or not doing, we have to come to negotiation. And so I'm very willing to negotiate on any point that's going to be for the best, for the betterment of the relationship at whatever stage it's at. In terms of being married, yes, I think there are specific roles for women. I think there are specific roles for men. And then there's always room for negotiation and compromise. So it's when I get up every day, what can I do that makes my situation better? What makes this person's situation better? And how do we keep growing and moving forward from that point? Thank you.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
Thank you.
I do believe that the man is the head of the household, and I'm growing into that, though, I guess I should say. Being single for so long, your same situation, I was so used to doing everything myself. And I remember one day my girlfriend's mother said to my girlfriend and I that we were single at the time, and she's like, you guys will never find a man. And we were just like, oh, and she's like, because you're too independent. You're not showing, you're not even making room for a man to even be in your life. If you know you can screw that light bulb in, don't do it. Allow him to do it. Allow him to be what's innate in him. And so that was a really defining moment. But because things are so ingrained in you, you know, you're so used to opening up your door, you're so used to pumping your gas and doing all that, it's almost like you have to retrain and relearn. And especially as women are now in the workforce, they're making their own money, they're doing, in many cases, they may be the bosses when they're out of the household, and now we have to come home and now kind of switch roles. And sometimes that can be a little challenging, but like my husband always says, it's all about the relationship. We said it's all about the marriage, but you know, if you're not married, it is all about the relationship. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the relationship. And you got to view that relationship as if it's a baby. And it's all about that baby. When you have a baby, you got to take care. You got to nurture. You got to feed it. You got to make sure it's the well-being is of that baby. Take it to success. So I'm in the process of learning that. I'm in the process of really. I do believe my husband, and he's a very good leader in our household. But there's times where I have to stop and say, Sheila, you know what? You don't have to do that.
Right. See, this just, I just want to talk, and this might sound crazy, only because I'm with, you know, I'm sure you guys heard of the alpha female. That's who I am. So, you know, after approaching 40 and having, you know, been the head of the household, I am looking for a nice leader. Let me sit down. You can do whatever you want. I want to relax. I don't want to, you know, be that alpha female and that's doing this and taking charge and making sure this is happening. You know, I want that man to step in there, baby, take care of it. He's saying he got, okay, I'll be over here.
But you know what? That's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but having stuck my face in the Bible too often, you know, this is the transformation that I am willing to make, because I don't want to be, I just don't want to be. It's draining, you know, to be this independent woman, to make sure this is happening, that is happening, you go get her, take charge. That could be draining sometimes. And sometimes some women do just want a good leader in the household to make sure things are done and she can relax a little bit. Yes, that is exactly what I want.
And I think we agree with you 100%, because I can say, speaking for myself, I said the exact same thing. I think what we're saying to you is that it is a little bit of a journey.
Oh, yeah.
When you find that person, it's not going to be a nice switch. It's going to be really something you're going to have to mentally retrain. Because you'll be doing it and not even know you're doing it. Yep. And you're like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. You know, so I think that, I mean, it's great. Go that 100%, you know, and try your best.
See, I've done it before.
But don't beat yourself up if it's not.
I've done it before.
Okay.
With my son's father. And although, like you said, you know, you were used to having been raised, and as you said, you know, things in life, you know, whatever needs to be done, you made sure it was done. Yeah, I went through that whole thing. But even with my son's father, when we dated, I let him take charge. But if it was something that I was not going to wait for, I mean, if I asked you to do it on Tuesday and it's Friday, then maybe I'll say, hey, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get this done. You know, the situation like that. But there was always that communication. I wouldn't just step on his toes. I would inform him, hey, you know, you said you were going to get this done. Maybe you wasn't able to. For whatever reason, that's fine, but I'm going to go ahead and take care of it.
But here's the thing. The only thing I want to add simply is that's okay if you're just dating. But in a marriage, that approach will cause conflict. And I'll give you an example. When I was married the second time, well, no, I'll go back to the first time. Didn't matter. If the cars need washing, I'm out there washing. Second husband, car needs washing. I go outside, and we live in the house over this cul-de-sac, and everybody can see. I go outside and start getting buckets and soap and all that. He's like, hold up, what are you doing? The car's dirty, I'm washing it. No, you're not doing that. That's what I think is a man's job. So I'm gonna wash the car. I ran around the dirty car for like a week now. I got a brand new car downtown, DPs, and everybody see me when I pull in. I'm one of the first people in the office. I want a clean car. Okay, let's wash the car. I don't feel like it. Okay, fine. So I will go ahead and wash the car. We be fighting.
I'm sorry, that's not big enough to fight about.
No, it's not, but we did. But it caused a problem because in his mind, that was his job. And in my mind, I want a clean car.
Well, if it was his job, then he would be on top of his job.
Or I can follow.
whichever one you want me to do.
And that's my thing, and the man should be okay with that.
But
Yes.
it depends on the man.
See, my son's father was completely okay. He loved it.
Because he didn't have to do it.
No, not that he didn't have to do it. Not that he didn't have to do it. He just loved my go-getter personality. He knew if it was something that maybe not intentionally that he couldn't get done, he knew I was going to make sure it was done. He was totally okay with it, but I wasn't purposely stepping on his toes. No. I knew when to shut up. I did sometimes, not all the time. But I knew he was the man, and I'd say maybe 65% of the time I allowed that. Or I didn't try to wear the pants. So for me, yes, I want to sit back. I don't want to be this independent woman anymore.
But you know what? The situation of the car, it's like, honey, I love it when we're together. It just really.
Yeah, see, I wasn't that smooth then. I wasn't that smooth.
But you know what I wanted to touch on? All of that is fine and I do agree with you all, but on the flip side of that, there are not real good leaders in the household. There are men, it's women don't, I want to make this point clear because men always say women don't want to submit and all of this or have you. It's not a problem that we don't have a problem to submit, but you have to be leading us somewhere. This is in a marriage. And I'm going to come to the relationship part because first of all, you're not, if this ring finger is there and not with the metal that God said join us together, I'm not going to be doing all that for you anyway because we are in a relationship. Marriage is different, but in your marriage, you have to be a good leader because if you're not leading me anywhere, I don't know where to follow. So if you eating ho-hos and Cocoa Puffs in the bed and then the refrigerator needs to be repaired, then you upset because I called somebody to come in. It should not have to be there. Your wife should not, you should know what needs to be done. Exactly. You should not go for a week with your car dirty. Even if we do butter them up, if you want to be the leader, okay, I'll step back. But I shouldn't have to, you say I'm going to go, and I shouldn't have to wait because you don't want to wait for your food. You don't want to wait for sex. You don't want to wait for whatever you need. So therefore, why should we have to wait? We don't have a problem with submitting. We just want to know how are you leading me? Because if you're a drug dealer, you leading us to jail. I cannot follow you. I'm going to have to make another right turn because you're not leading me anywhere. Now, if you're a man of God and you have great leadership skills, I'm going to follow you, baby. I'm going to sit down because I have a strong person now. That's my point.
And it's hard. How many of them start off like that? Because us as women being helpmates, we don't, sometimes men need grooming with us into
but see,
that.
I'm tired, you all. We back our men. I'm tired of grooming. You groom your pets. You groom your cats. I'm not going to do that. I'm tired. We get behind them. We support them. I am tired. We need to come together and work because when I'm the better me, then I can be the better for you. But if I'm downtrodden because I'm washing and cooking and giving it to you and I'm working and you not leave, you sit back kicking it. And then letting the refrigerator go, the house clean. If we work together, then I'm going to give it to you. But we tired. Then they say, why we're angry because you guys are not helping. Lead us and we'll follow. We'll get somewhere and sit down. Yes, we will.
And I'm not saying that guy because it sounds like the guy you're saying.
No, I'm saying different. I'm talking about multiple guys. Now, a guy that's a leader, that's a man, that is a leader, said, baby, sit down. I got that. Okay, then get it, boo, but don't get it later. Get it when you need to. That guy.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're connected with the guy and you for whatever reason you all are working together, I don't think it should be a problem if he doesn't start off a great leader. If he has the basic foundational skills, and then once you two are together, enhancing each other, and he continues to grow and get stronger in the Lord, or learn from his mistakes and those things. I'm saying, right. So I'm just saying because it sounds like we as women expect him to come like just 100% correct day one, and that would be great and fine and dandy if it did. But the reality is, it doesn't always.
But
so
the
sometimes
expectations are on us women as well because they want us to come equipped. They want us to come ready.
But we know how to tell them.
Right.
We know how to tell them, get them in the place. Just like you met me with A through Z happening, and I met you with 1 through 100 happening, and we got to figure out how to work it together.
Right. That's true too.
If we work it together, we'll get the people we want to be with.
Right. I'm willing to walk with you as you groom, but I'm not going to baby you, because it's like almost as if, how long? My thing is when you say groom, it's like I'm teaching you how to be a man as a woman.
No,
how to be your man. How to be the man for you.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
that's not what I mean at all.
Because
What do you mean groom? Because you're saying you're grooming them to lead them in what way? That's
Okay,
what I'm trying to understand.
Okay, again, I go back to the second marriage. When I first met him, he wasn't actively going to church, but I was. So he started going with me. I was paying tithes. He wasn't. So then he started paying tithes.
Okay.
I didn't make him become a better man. I just exposed him to where I was already going, and he picked up and started going.
Okay, now
That's what I'm saying.
Now that's
what I mean by groom.
Oh, okay, by that, because sometimes
that's not even done
I
intentionally.
understand.
No, it wasn't because I didn't say anything to him. I just did what I did. And
But I'm
he
talking as
thought,
far as leading in the house, because the men want to say that I am the king. What kind of king are you? Now the tithe situation is different, because sometimes when it comes to faith, some men feel like you're not giving our money to the church, you know. And when you teach them, that's a different type of hanging in there and making it work. I'm saying, far as when you lose your job, I understand that, but it's men out here, because I see it all the time. Women, he won't work, you know, she all doing all of this, and then you following this buster that's not doing them. The guys that I wanted to touch on, because it's a lot of that going on. That situation is very different, because you expose him to something that he may not have known before. But it's women who they're leading the household, but this man wants to be the leader, but he's not taking the steps to make sure that house is secure. And as far as the finance, the emotion, the children, and that nature, that's the man that I'm talking about. Far as not wanting her to follow him, but he's not going anywhere. He's going somewhere because he's catching on. You putting in the time. I'm talking about putting in time with the guys who are not going anywhere, because it's just as well as good leaders exist, those non-leaders exist as well. And I think it's more of them exposing and breaking down the women more so than the good leaders, because if we had more good leaders, we wouldn't have a lot of broken homes, I believe. So it lets me know the brokenness in us being single is because there are not to no man, because I do believe there are good leaders out there, but it's more non-leaders than good leaders, because it's obvious. The stats show it, the situation and the circumstances. So that's why I want to kind of touch on that.
And it could be because no one showed them.
Right. That's true too. And it's like,
as a leader, one of the characteristics, and if you've been in management, you know, it's all the same. A leader is a leader. And one of the characteristics of a good leader is he believes in team. So even as a male husband leader, he believes he is supposed to believe in teamwork. And now if that just simply means, like you said, hey baby, you know, let's wash the car. That's teamwork.
That's true.
Wifey wants to wash the car with you. He's gonna set you. That's teamwork.
that's true.
Teamwork. Right.
I'm sure about washing the car.
But
Hey, that might not be a bad idea.
Teamwork. You know,
wait a minute, that might not be a bad idea.
I mean, you guys heard the saying, you know, there's no I in team. You know,
That's true,
a
too.
man leader believes in teamwork. So
I think we just have to lift each other up. And I think a lot of times men have to allow a woman to have her voice, but we have to know when to
shut
speak.
up.
Y'all just said two different things.
That's true. We have to know when to voice that opinion, but we should be allowed, because we're not in the 1930s. There's no more quiet mouses in the house. No. We do have a voice. So if they respect their mate's voice, because if that's your helpmate, God didn't put her here to walk behind you. He put her here to walk beside you. So where you lack at, she makes up.
That's right.
And we balance each other out. So the team. And you're right. Every household is different. Ladies, do what's best for your household. Don't say Terita told you. Do what's best for your household.
I've always
true.
been, you have to do what's best for your household.
You do.
My household, yes, of course, my husband is the leader. I think he should be. That does not mean that on some things I'm not the leader. You know, I may be the leader of what our schedule is going to be like this week, or who's going to pick the kids up. You know, sometimes we want to define the leaders in terms of this is the man's role, this is the woman's role. I think when you join as and it's a marriage and it's a household, it's what's best for the family.
That's
It all
true.
boils down to
That's true.
in this situation, I'm the better leader at keeping us organized, so I'm going to do that. You know, my husband's better at, I'm not changing the tire.
See, I wouldn't marry my son's father if he wasn't married to his mother.
You know, so he's the better leader and keeping parties together. You know, so I think it's just finding whatever works for your house.
That's true.
You know, it's no definite roles of this is what the woman should do. He might have to wash dishes.
Exactly.
Dishwasher's broken. I
There's
don't like
shared
washing dishes.
responsibilities, you know?
It's shared.
Exactly.
That's true.
You know,
It's either lead or follow.
exactly.
In a
Whichever
relationship,
roles work for
sometimes
that
the roles
day,
reverse.
exactly. Make it
Whichever
happen.
works.
Yeah.
It
I like to
shouldn't be-
compare it to a basketball team. You know, we're a team and
Exactly.
we have the same goal to win the game and get that ball in the basket.
Exactly.
But you know, you got your forwards, you got your guards, you got your. So we all have a different role.
But what can we do? to
But
make
you
it
know
to
what?
the goal?
If the guard is open to get to the, because they can all shoot, we still all can shoot.
Exactly.
So if the guard is open, then the guard is gonna take the shot and make the shot. We get the point. So I always like to compare the whole thing to
See, that was
a basketball team.
that was my son's father's mentality, and I hope he don't watch this because I'm gonna say it anyway. You know, like he just said, you know, the whole teamwork and the forward, you know, you have to take these necessary steps. We all have a common goal, right? So he was totally okay with that, you know, where he was weak, and he would say it all the time. Where he was weak, I was strong. You know, and it's really sad because I would have married him had he not been married to his mama. You know, and I really hope he don't watch this.
But then that team mentality, you also look at it. I look at it also from making a cake. You can't make a cake with all eggs.
Right.
So everybody can't be the
Everybody
leader.
has something to put
You got to get some eggs, some milk, some flour. You got to have all of that stuff, and everything plays its role in that pot to
So
create
yes, the
that
leader
cake.
is the leader, but he still has to understand that he has helpers. Their input needs to be in there. They need to be heard.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is, I'm not just here just to be here and lay down when you want me to. I have opinions, I have ideas, I have thoughts, I have, you know, things that can make us better. So the leader needs to be able to listen. You know?
Share would have to lead like Kobe. You see what happened with Kobe, right? In the Lakers. You know, you can be the leader and be the best, but
You need your team.
You need your team.
You let me see a marriage run without a wife.
Yeah.
You show me that, you show me a lot. Let me see a marriage run without a woman. Without her input.
That's true.
That's not how Barack Obama got to where he is.
Oh, wow. Lord, the big
Sorry, Michelle.
I ain't say nothing. That wasn't me.
No, we didn't come on. Let's be serious.
My mind went somewhere else. Sorry, Michelle.
No, my mind was saying sisterhood.
That's what I said. Sisterhood. I won't do it. I don't want no stolen property. I'm not going to jail or hell for some stolen property.
Loxy, I see you.
This girl, Miss Fox, thinks she gon' eat our loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gon' smash it. With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet.
Miss X. X was good.